A trial over a conspiracy to violate United States sanctions with a billion-dollar scheme to smuggle Turkish gold for Iranian oil began in New York this week. The case has riveted Turkey and rattled the Turkish government. Before the trial opened, there was broad speculation that the lead defendant, Reza Zarrab, had entered a plea bargain with the prosecution and would reveal damaging information about corruption and illegal dealings in high places. The other defendant, Mehmet Hakan Atilla, a Turkish banker, pleaded not guilty before the trial began. 7 others have been charged in the conspiracy but remain at large. Here's what we've learned in the trial's first week. A month ago, Mr. Zarrab, 34, a Turkish-Iranian gold trader, was facing years in prison on charges that he had helped orchestrate the billion-dollar scheme in violation of American sanctions. He put together a team of prominent lawyers, including former New York Mayor Rudolph W. Giuliani, an informal advisor to President Trump. The legal team vigorously fought the case on his behalf. But this fall, Mr. Zarrab's lawyers stopped filing legal papers, and he stopped appearing in court, spurring widespread speculation about his status. Had he switched sides to cooperate with the United States government? On Tuesday, Mr. Zarrab gave a stunning answer, appearing as the government's star witness in the trial of Mr. Atilla, the Turkish banker who had been charged with him. Through 3 days of often compelling testimony, Mr. Zarrab has appeared composed, has maintained a respectful tone and has rarely looked uncomfortable answering questions. His testimony about how he had carried out the scheme, working with bankers and a government minister, sent political tremors through Turkey. Ever since Mr. Zarrab's arrest in March 2016, Turkey's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, has repeatedly condemned the prosecution and seemingly tried everything to have the case dismissed. Mr. Erdogan claimed there were malicious intentions behind the prosecution, and he raised the case with American officials, including Mr. Trump, in a phone call in September. "We have to seek justice, for he is our citizen," Mr. Erdogan said of Mr. Zarrab more than a year ago. But in his testimony this past week, Mr. Zarrab all but implicated Mr. Erdogan in the alleged scheme. He testified that Zafer Kaglayan, then the economy minister, had told him in 2012 that Mr. Erdogan, who was prime minister at the time, had personally ordered that 2 Turkish banks be allowed to participate in the sanctions-busting activity. Mr. Zarrab also said he had paid Mr. Kaglayan tens of millions of dollars in bribes. Mr. Kaglayan is one of the 7 defendants who remain at large. Turkey has been gripped by the trial, with its cast of rich and powerful characters and its enormous sums, billions of dollars in Iranian oil money and bribes in the tens of millions of dollars, allegedly paid to the former economy minister. The Turkish government tried to head off negative news coverage, denouncing the trial in the days before it began as a plot against the government and against Turkey itself. Justice Minister Abdul Hamid Gül said the evidence had been fabricated by followers of the cleric Fethullah Gülen, who was accused of fomenting last year's failed coup against Mr.